Okay, everybody there? Hello. Guys, if I look a little flustered, I actually just came from seeing Ben Rector and I didn't know I was going to see him tonight, but I did. So if you don't know who he is, you should. Anyway, okay, that's my only thing. I am Joyce Stevens, and I have been with Isogenics and with Freedom Living Team and Team SOAR for I am 2 months short of 2.5 years, which is super crazy to think about. But what a blessing it has been to be a part of this team and this community. And tonight I get to interview Becca Stone. And so Becca and I actually go to church together, and she reached out to me earlier in 2020 about starting with Isogenics, and we right away got on a Zoom call and talked about the opportunity, which she was very interested in. And she started with the nutrition in March of 2020 and has just got this vision. It has been incredible to see. She is a manager now and growing her team so consistently. And yeah, we have so much to learn from her. But before we kind of dive into that, I do want to just do some housekeeping things. So we do have the holiday catalog launching. Who is excited for whipped mocha latte? I'm like super pumped. I don't know if it tastes like the mocha. I hope that it is like whipped, like it tastes like kind of whipped cream, like coffee deliciousness. I mean, how delicious. So, who wants mocha? And then banana bread, right? Banana bread. I'm like, that's amazing. I love banana bread, and I would totally be down for a banana bread for breakfast. So, I'm excited about those two flavors. And then the variety pack of Bia. If you are not on the Bia train, you need to be on the Bia train. It's seriously amazing. I am a mom of a 3-year-old and a 3-month-old, and it makes my world go round. So if you haven't had it, you should have it. And the variety pack is amazing because then you get to, again, have some variety in your day. You don't just have to stick to one flavor for 12 cans. You can try them all out. It's amazing. So that is that. As far as housekeeping goes, please check in with your team, people who are inactive, people who are have terminated accounts, people that you've talked to about Isogenics before, and talk to them about these seasonal shakes. It is a huge time to grow your business. I know we've seen massive growth and massive shifts in our business when our team hops on these seasonal shake launches. And so, yeah, if you have anybody like that, if you have one person, you're leading a team, so check in with them, especially tomorrow when those launch. So 12 p.m. Eastern time is what I have been told for the launch for that. So, okay, kind of diving into what I want to talk about tonight. We are going to talk about belief, a 10 out of 10 belief, and then what your belief should then lead you to in your Isogenics business. So I think I am, I can say this confidently that 2020 has been a challenging year, right? People ask me all the time, like, what's it like to have another child, right? What's it like with two? And I say it's challenging, right? With like anything in life, there are challenges that you go through. But I think what I love about Becca's story is that she started in 2020. And a lot of times people, I think, have been using this year as an excuse to not take action or to not do things or to let things fall through the cracks, whether that be in your business or your family life or your marriage or whatever that looks like for you. And I love seeing people like Becca come into a challenging time and just like take the bull by the horns and run with this opportunity and not let it be an excuse. And guys, I think and I'm speaking to myself as well, is like wherever our excuses begin is where our business falls off. Okay. And so it's like, if you want growth in your business, then you have to stop letting 2020 be an excuse, or your business is going to stop in 2020. That's kind of the get-go of tonight. So Becca, I'm going to have you unmute your line. I'm just going to do some like interview style with Becca questions, and then you all just hit up the chats if you have any questions along the lines. But Becca, what drew you to Isogenics?
So first it was the nutrition. I just, Ed and I don't know how many people know my story, but we have 4 kids. My oldest is Decker and she has special needs. And then we have triplets that are 5.5. So last year we moved, we owned 2 houses. We were fighting for our oldest to be, included in kindergarten. Our business was, kind of going downhill. So just a lot of stressful things in our life that, just a stressful season as many people go through. And I just really like at home, I had to focus on my kids. I'm really healthy. I've always been athletic. I've always worked out. I've eaten well. But for 365 days, I did nothing for me but chase my kids and keep my head above water. So I literally ran on caffeine, and I don't mean coffee. I mean like 10 to 15 straight like espresso shots, and could have laid down, in the middle of the road and slept. So it wasn't even working, and I didn't really know what else to do. I mean, I haven't done, a lot of other nutrition things. I've eaten well, I've done marathons, half marathons, triathlons. So I've done a lot of supplements. I know how to eat well, but I literally I didn't have the motivation to do it. And that for me, like, that's really hard to say. I just, I tried to kind of get back to being healthy and doing what I knew to do, but I couldn't do it on my own. I needed to be healthy. I take care of a lot of people, very fast paced life. And I wasn't like the mom, the wife, the woman that I'm called to be, that I know that I've been. And so I just needed help. And I had, seen Joy's post. Again, I had no idea what she was doing, nutrition, superfood. That's all I got. And so but I could see this light. We go to church together. And I had seen like this shift in her. We'd worked out together some, but acquaintances. We didn't really know each other, did we, Joy? We didn't really know each other.
No,
And I just saw
Becca kicked my
light.
butt in like our exercise classes. So there's
Oh,
that.
an hour, 5 espresso shots. There you go. So anyway, but I just really saw this light. I saw this transformation, and it wasn't even just body, because I mean, Joy's always been in good shape. Like her body composition, I really noticed change, but it was more just like her light, her energy, how she was with her family. And I just knew she was doing something that I needed in my life. And so I was drawn to that. I did a surgery, all kinds of stuff, but my kid had a surgery. Then I had a surgery. I was laid up for 2 or 3 days. My girls thought like the world was coming to an end. They're like, we've never seen you lay in bed. And really at that point, my Bailey looks at me and says, and it sounds dramatic, but, she's like, Mom, are you going to be okay? And I'm like, I'm good, as I'm like escorting her out of the room so I can, start bawling, crying. And I really wasn't good. I really was not good. And just like having that many people depend on you. I mean, I know a lot of you have kids and some of you don't, but like that's the weight of the world, to be able like to be your best self for them. And so that was so important. So right then I literally sent Joy a message and said, hey, I'm in, whatever it is, I'm in. And so that's what led me. I also knew it was network marketing. And, my husband is owned a textbook business for 14 years and crushed it. I mean, he's done very, very well. He takes great care of us, but it's like everything, there's a season, and the textbook business is going out. And so, he's done a great job to, do what he can, but I just knew we were declining and we were going to have to make some changes. And so that to me, guys, I'm at home. I mean, like I can't go anywhere else, and what would I have to go out and make? Right, in the craziest time that 2020, what would I have to go out and make for it to be worth it, for me to leave my kids and actually provide enough for somebody to pay to take care of my kids? I mean, that's a crazy number, I'll tell you that. So this for me, just seeing it like, hey, nutrition, and then having the opportunity to really step in and help financially, which I have not done since I've had 4 kids, was really just, I instantly knew it in my heart. And so Joy and I literally had 3 conversations all in one. Hey, I want the nutrition. If it works, I want to make money. And 2, 3, I'm kind of in a hole. So I'm going to need this team and support system of whatever you're talking about, really to like, rejuvenate me. And like, I want to run with some good people who are ready to just like, who want to do life and do it big and just really have some massive goals and just like life change.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, so Becca, if you were talking to a new prospect, okay, how would you cast the vision for them? And why, like, why isogenics for you? What is but your belief so much? Because I've heard Becca talk about this to other people, so people that she's talking to about isogenics. So I want her to share this.
So this is probably where I think that I've grown the most in maybe the last 4 to 6 weeks. And it's through conversations with Audrey and Joy and Chelsea and Lane and James and all of you guys really just helping me see what an opportunity. Because I'll tell you, I mean, I could talk to anybody about nutrition and be just, tell you all the things. Even though I knew in my heart the opportunity was going to be my vehicle to literally bring my husband home. And so we're able to do life together. So we can do life with our kids. He works 80-hour weeks and everything he does is for us. But my kids need him. I need him. We want him. We want to be able to give more and send our kids to school where we want. And just, that's my vision. So what I've really kind of shifted in the last month is not being afraid to share that with other people. And again, the nutrition, like I could talk about that all day, but I have to admit the first 3 months I was scared to death to tell somebody like I'm going all the way, I mean, that scared me to death. And Audrey's like, man, if you want it, you got to put it out there, do a post. I'm like, I mean, I was scared. And, but since then, I've just seen the people that I've attracted really into my life and into my business. And the more that I speak it and believe it, it's just in every conversation. And so now, I mean, I would give them a little bit of about where I'm going, like I want my husband home. I'm bringing my husband home. This is going to be our vehicle to like be a family and to, be free. Right. And not just like money, right? Money's great, but it's just the options and just to have choices about how we design our days. Chelsea, I love that. How we design our days and we get to choose what we want to do. And we're just not tied to anything or anybody else's schedule or hours or what they're going to tell us we can make. And, just having so many kids, a large family, and a lot of people, to take care of, that's a benefit. And I've just been better about speaking what I see in them and why I think that they would be amazing for this. And just, something I'm sitting down with a 21-year-old and I just looked at her like, oh my gosh, you want to go have coffee to look at a comp plan to see how you can get out of graduate school debt free? Like you're gonna kill it. You're like up here. Like that mentality, those are the people that I'm linking arms with and that I'm on a mission to connect with and surround myself with and build my organization with.
Yeah, that's so awesome. Super powerful. Guys, is she not amazing? I love Becca so much. She like fires me up and,
Why am I in a
makes
sweatshirt?
I know. I'm like, Becca, you're so hot. I
Oh my
guarantee it.
God.
So Becca made, just for everyone who hasn't seen it on the business page, she made $562 this last week in her isogenics business, which is incredible, like so powerful. But here's the thing is that we've been talking for probably like the last 4 to 6 weeks, I would say. And she's like, Joy, I've got to make some money. Like I'm doing it all. Like I'm doing it all. And she is doing it all. Like she's like 12, 15, 20 reach outs. Like, and she's like, hey, guess how many I did today? And like, she's legit like running through her list and being so confident and reaching out to people. But there was a slower time for Becca. Okay. Like she didn't get instant gratification as we all want. And most of us have not seen, correct? Which can be discouraging. But what I want to ask you, Becca, is how have you navigated the slower times in your startup, slower than you maybe desired in the beginning? How have you navigated that and continued to stay the course, even when you weren't seeing the instant gratification that you wanted?
So in the beginning, it was slow. I think for me, it was a blessing just to, go like, okay, you're going to have to work this thing. You're going to have to grind and just get like a realistic idea of what that was going to look like, especially multitasking like my kids and home life. And honestly, for me, COVID really never played into it. I never even thought about the only way it played in for me. I'm like, my 4 kids are not leaving for a really long time, so I better get good at like, hiding places and doing stuff. But first and foremost, it was just plugging in and really just being consistent in texting you and screenshots and what do I say and how do I respond to this and really just learning. Um, and just reaching out and like connecting well, we didn't have meetings then, I guess, but like reaching out and meeting new people, like connecting with Lane and Chelsea and just other people, plugging in, listening to the calls. If I couldn't be live, I would listen to them the next morning. And so really just like being open, being coachable. And then I would say you just got to sell out to like the systems and what they have in place. And I think you take it and you make it your own. Like you say you put your own spin on it because that's what your people want to hear anyway, right? Like they don't want to hear from Joy. They want to hear from you. They want you to say it how you would say it, but using what they've developed because guys is what works. I mean, like, just keep it simple. And literally Joy would be like, Becca, you need to. And I'd be like, no, I was scared to do it and I would just do it. And then people would come back and be like, yeah, I'll get on a 3-way call. I'm like, why did I think that was like going to go differently? So really just like getting out of my head, and people were like, heck yeah, I've got a pro who's going to answer all my questions because I knew nothing. They really like valued that, but it's scary to do new things. And I sold books door to door 80 hours a week in my summers. And we used to say, like, get comfortable being uncomfortable, like control what you can control. Like you can't control if they get in or if they don't, but like you can control how many people you talk to, like work the numbers. And so the mindset was like, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. And Joy carried me through that, and then it started happening. This last 6 weeks has been the biggest kind of dry spell that I've had. And it was funny because it literally started the night that I went to James and Audrey's house to have this like big pep rally, right? And I'm like, and nothing. And so I really was just like, you know what? I'm like, my morning routine is changing. And I knew right then and there, it was like, I can either like pity party and not do it and make excuses, or because I'd be like, God, I got 4 kids. I don't have time. And I'm like, yeah, like really just being mindful of like catching those stories that we're telling ourselves to use as a way out. Mine's not COVID, but it's like, terrorist around here. So, and I go, what am I going to do? So if I don't have time, I'm going to get up earlier. And 4, that sounds ridiculous. In my world, like I just have to do it. And it just comes down to like how bad I want it and how bad I'm going to, what I'm going to sacrifice to get it. And so I do. And it's not just for like 2 or 3 days, like guys, whatever your time is, like you got to be consistent. And really now I'm making it 6 weeks. The first week it was like 4 a.m. for 3 days. And then the next week was like 4 and it's 5. I don't do weekends. Okay. And really just to get the first thing I do, I make coffee. I have my beats on. And for 10 or 15 minutes, I'm pumping my brain full of, a mastermind, Anthony Robbins, Ed Milet, like something so I can learn and I can change my perspective. And Ed Milet says, like, we're always about the 20% that we don't do. We didn't get our reach out. He's like, how about stacking the 80% you do, you did do and building on that. So like give ourselves credit. And I would have never known that if I wasn't listening to that in the morning. So I do that. I do a devotion. I visualize, which has been a game changer. Visualize my goals. 3 things I'm thankful for and I appreciate, and 3 of my goals. And I'll tell you, I see them like 100 times a day just from doing that in the morning. And then I make my isogenic schedule. Who am I talking to? Circle their name. Why? When? What am I doing? If I'm doing a Facebook post, I'm like, it's not a strength. So I do it in the morning because I don't have time to do it. It takes me forever. It's stressful for me. And so I do it in the morning and I copy and paste it and it it either works or it doesn't. But you know what? I do it. And so I just think really honestly, last week's call was huge. Like Sydney and then him, and he was saying network marketing is your mindset. That's it. And so really just having faith that like it is working for me. And now in those dry spells, I've just told James like 100 times in 2 weeks, oh man, it's coming big. It's coming big. And it is. And I think that people can feel that when you're talking to them, so does that help?
Yeah, so much. So Becca, like what you all gathered there is Becca has amazing habits that she's put in place. right? So I'm sure Audrey talked about this, and she I think maybe on one of her stories, but I'm a big proponent of the book too. It's called Atomic Habits. It is amazing. It has transformed the way that I think about things, just in day-to-day life, if we're being honest. So if you haven't read the book, you should read it. They have an audiobook. You can listen to it on your way to work or wherever you're going on your walks. But guys, 10 out of 10 belief in isogenics should drive you to create different habits. Okay, so that's what Becca has done. Her belief has then driven her to create different habits, and it's hard. The habit part is the grind part, right? That's the part that Becca's talking about. Like, I just had to get used to the grind. Like, that is the grind. Is you're going to get the no's. Like, you're going to reach out to people and people are going to say no to you, and that's painful feedback, right? And so when we experience pain as human beings or discomfort, we're like, I'm going to shy away from that because that doesn't feel good. And so then we create this different habit, which is not reaching out to people, not putting yourself in community, not meeting new people, right? And you like inadvertently create these habits and you're like, how did I get here? Right? I was so sold out. I had all this belief. I still feel like I have that. And I don't think that anybody on this call, if you are on this call, you've shown up, you have motivation. That's not what you're lacking. You're not lacking the belief. I don't believe. I think you may be lacking the habits to back up the belief. And so, and I know that that's like, you're like, oh, wow, that's super awesome and really kind of boring. But it is kind of boring, right? It's not glamorous. And Becca can tell you it's not glamorous. Building this business isn't glamorous, whether you have children and Becca's got triplets and another child or not, right? It's just not super glamorous and glitz, but the payout for what you're going to get from building this business and grinding and being okay with it not being all the glamour and glitz and stuff like that. Because y'all, your 9 to 5 job's probably not glitz and glamour either. My 7 to 7 job as a nurse was not glitz and glamour either. Okay. And I never like could just choose how much I was going to make. I had to show up and I was going to get an 80-cent raise every single October. And that was it. Okay. But here you can choose how much you want to show up, what you're going to put into it, and you're going to get a payout that's probably so much greater than what your 9 to 5 job is going to be. Right. Like right now, we're in South Carolina and I get paid while I am traveling. It's amazing. So I believe that everyone deep down on this call wants to be successful, right? But the habits that we fall into determine the direction of our lives, determine the direction of our business, determine the direction of our marriage, determine the direction of our legacy. They truly do. And we just fall into these habits. So tonight, what kind of my charge to you is going to be is I want you to write down things that you're doing in your day. Okay. Like from the time that you wake up. So when do you wake up? Do you set an alarm? Why do you set an alarm? Okay. And then what do you do from there? Is it like I get up and I make my coffee and then I sit down and I journal and I read my Bible or I listen to a podcast or, whatever it is, like what is your routine? Why are you doing those things? And where are you going to create space for new habits or take away some things that you're doing right now that are not serving you well in order to build the kind of income and the kind of business center that you want in isogenics? Because either you want that income or you don't. And again, your habits are going to determine how you get there and how fast you get there. So here are my things. Create a reward system that's instant for you. Okay. So like for me, it's if I do my 5 reach outs, then I get to go to bed. I have a 3-month-old that likes to wake me up multiple times during the night. So bed is a great feedback for me, right? It's like a great reward system. I want to go to sleep at night. Some people don't want to go to sleep at night. I do, because I'm going to get woken up like 2 hours later. So create something that is like rewarding for yourself. So if I do these 5 reach outs, then I get to go to bed. Or if I do these 5 reach outs, then I get to go on a girls' night with my friends or something like that. Like what Sydney was talking about and how she said no to things, said no to going out to dinner, said no to hanging out with her friends or going climbing or whatever she wanted, whatever her friends and things like that that she enjoyed wanted to do because she was choosing to do isogenics instead. So set things in place where you get rewarded like an instant gratification for the things that you are doing and the steps that you're taking forward in your business. Okay. The other thing is, if the reward system doesn't work well for you, because sometimes, like Becca's story, this is a long game and you have spells that are dry and you get frustrated and you think, why isn't this happening? I'm doing all the things that they're telling me to do, right? And we continue to tell you, and all our amazing leaders continue to tell you, like, keep showing up, keep doing the work, and you will reap the benefits. You are going to reap what you sow, right? So if the reward system doesn't work for you, then create a painful feedback system for yourself. So if you don't do your 5 reach outs, you don't get to go to bed. That's kind of painful too. Like if you're tired, right? Or let's say if you don't do your 5 reach outs every single day, you do a family movie night or something like that on Friday night, and you don't get to do that you really enjoy. You don't get to do that. Like you literally say, sorry, I can't do that this week. I've got to do my reach outs instead. Like that's a bummer. Like if you enjoy doing something and you don't get to do it because you haven't stuck to your goals. So like set things in place that are either a reward or a painful stimulus for yourself. You have to pay your brother $5 every day that you don't do your 5 reach outs, right? No one wants to do that. Everyone wants to spend $5 on BS, right? Anyway, so it truly is a feedback loop with our habits. So I encourage you to write down the things that you're doing every single day because I think that you're going to find that you've just fallen into some habits rather than choosing intentionally to do those things. At least I did for me. And that can be a start for you, right? It might not be 4 a.m., but it might be, staying up an hour later. Or instead, for me, it was I didn't ever take a lunch for the time period that I was building isogenics while I was a nurse. I would do calls on my lunch breaks, which is, not super fun in the grand scheme of things. When you've been running, you get like 20 minutes down. You don't really want to get on a call with somebody. But I was like, I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here anymore. I want to be home with my daughter. So I'm going to do calls on my lunch break. I'm not going to sit in the break room. And I know that like you all may think that is hard or rough, maybe in this season with COVID and things like that going on. But guys, plug into our community and have that be what fuels you rather than like gossip in the break room, right? Um, your life truly is the sum of your habits. And I like think about that deep down. Like your life is the sum of your habits. That's pretty huge, right? Your business is the sum of your habits. So if you are not seeing something that you want to see right now, then you have to change what you're doing. You have to change the habits that you have in place or the rituals that you have in place right now. And I know that we say it over and over and over again, but it really, really is so true. If you're seeing something that you love, what are you doing right now? And where are you setting boundaries to create what's going on in your business, right? And that's true in anything in life. But guys, we are we are on your team. We love you all. You all are doing an amazing job. 2020 is going to be a year of a massive shift for you. It's going to be a year of massive growth, right? Not just in your isogenics business. It can be a year of massive growth in your personal life, in your marriages, in relationships with your kids. It can be a year of massive growth. This does not have to be a year that you say, oh man, this was the worst year ever. And my life is so hard and I'm just super depressed. It does not have to be that way. You get to control the narrative of your life. Do not just fall into complacency. Okay. So that's really where we're ending tonight, is that you guys are incredible. You have so much inside of you. You're so bold. Um, my father-in-law talks about sharing our faith, right? And he says to pray for a burden, for an opportunity, and for boldness. And I think that all those things apply in your isogenics business as well, right? To pray for a burden, be on fire for this opportunity. Know that people are hurting. They want more for their lives. They want more for their families. Pray for an opportunity, right? An opportunity to share with others in your day-to-day life. How are you going to share with them? And then pray for boldness, right? And so for us, it's boldness to share and to be so ignited like Becca is. I love hearing Becca share with other people and saying, hey, what do you think about this? And I know this person from so and so. And she's so bold. And if you're not bold right now, grab somebody else and say, hey, I'm really scared to do this. Do not let me go through this day without reaching out to these 3 people, right? These 3 people that are on my chicken list. If I get to the end of the day and I'm like, call me over and over and over again until I do it, right? Grab some accountability. You can do that. And this is why our team exists, is to cheer and spur each other on. So I believe greatness is in all of you. I'm super glad that we got to share with you tonight. What an honor. Our team is just amazing. Our leaders are amazing. Lane and Chelsea and James and Audrey. We are beyond blessed to have them. So that's all I've got for you tonight. I'm excited for our launches tomorrow of our seasonal shakes. And I hope you all have an amazing rest of your Monday night. Be blessed, you guys.